K98 Talk is expanding its lineup for 2015. This means we are expanding our advertising base. Whether you're a startup trying to push through to the next level or an established business trying to supplement your advertising budget, web-based advertising is a solid investment. Thanks to Talk's newest partnership with TuneIn Radio and instant access to our sister station, K98 FM, we give you worldwide access at a reasonable cost. Interested parties should email us at sales@k98fm.com.
In these uncertain economic times, you've got to do whatever you can to save money. One of our biggest expenses can be unexpected repair bills hit. Not anymore. If you own a vehicle with less than 130,000 miles, is less than 12 years old, has a warranty about to expire, or even no warranty at all, you could stop paying for car repairs. Roadside assistance, towing, and rental coverage are all included. Don't wait for the next repair. Make one free call right now to see if you qualify. If your vehicle is less than 12 years old, has less than 130,000 miles, even if it's out of warranty, paying for car repairs can become a thing of the past. Call us right now and get your car protected before your next repair bill hits. Get protection and no more repair bills. Call 800-696-1030. Again, 800-696-1030. That's 800-696-1030. 800-696-1030.
Joe had huge problems with the IRS.
I knew it was coming. I hadn't filed taxes since 1990.
All the IRS letters coming in added up to a nightmare.
To get up to like $68,000. My heart started beating fast. It's like, there's no way, man. I mean, I ain't going to be able to do this.
Then they stopped his paycheck.
So that's when I started making phone calls and found U.S. Tax Shield.
U.S. Tax Shield went to work immediately.
They just took the bull by the horns. What blew my mind is, you know, the IRS right then and there.
So why is U.S. Tax Shield A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau? Joe knows.
They saved me a ridiculous amount of money.
If you owe more than $10,000 to the IRS or state, choose the company Joe chose, U.S. Tax Shield.
It was the best decision I made. U.S. Tax Shield is the way to go. Life is good. Thank you, Lord.
Call 800-471-3287.
U.S. Tax Shield. Boo-rah. Yes.
800-471-3287. 800-471-3287.
Wondering why you're up early with us on a Sunday morning making a cocktail? News lately got you drinking? Hungover from the mainstream media by Sunday? We are, and we got you covered.
We sure do. We got your hangover cure for those weekly news blues. So sit back, top off your mimosa, and add some Baileys to that coffee.
Take a match to your copy of the New York Times. Light, funny, and oh yeah, news with booze.
And a lot of laughter.
Welcome to Bloody Marys and Broadsheets. And a good, easy Sunday morning, November 15th, 2015, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. That means it's time for JD and Stacey for Bloody Marys and Broadsheets. Baby, your cure for your mainstream media hangover here on that K98 Talk. Welcome back to all of our political freaks, geeks, and back alley sneaks. Everybody right now in the sound of my voice, get over to that K98Talk.org. Get in that chat room. According to Ron, the nakedest, good Lord and baby Jesus. Slick says he's got camo boxes on. Drunkest, I don't know what kind of drugs there are in radio listening audience in the business. And because it's a Sunday morning, and I've been sitting here musing, I just said to myself, you know, sometimes I'm always thinking up little jokes or bits in my head. Stace, let me ask you a question.
Okay.
What do you get when you cross a Chicago lawyer and a hashtag?
Oh, dear Lord.
The preliminary answer is mirage, but the basic answer is nothing. It's been a few years, and all it is smoke and mirrors. Good morning, kids.
Good morning.
Today, Stacey and I are going to be talking the North Korean hostage video part 2 on CBS last night. Of course, Paris College crybabies, cyber sickness, and Mo, baby. Remember, we not just here at 7 a.m. 7 a.m. It feels like 7 a.m. How I ever let you talk me into doing a Sunday show, I'll never know. We're not just here Sunday mornings, 11 a.m. for that Bloody Marys and Broadsheets, baby. We do it again Tuesday nights, 9 p.m. New time for us, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for Game On. Live again Thursday night, another 9 p.m. edition. Fridays, 5 p.m. Drive time, WNJC, 1360 a.m. New Jersey. Serving that Southern Jersey, Delaware, and
Wow.
Okay. Basically, the whole crux of it is this. We want to thank everybody in the listening audience. We want to thank Rick Trader, and we want to thank WNJC. Folks, as of tomorrow, November 16th, Yahoo Sports is going to be broadcasting on 1360 AM WNJC to compete with that ESPN radio, baby. And it sounds like, guess who's going to be there leading on Fridays, baby?
Okay, terrific.
Huh?
Me and you.
Yeah, and by the way, for those of you logging this, taking notes, and furiously running to my magistrate there in that Jefferson County, make sure you call the station at least a dozen times today, because then it'll look like there's more of you, okay? I remember, guys, not during the show, but after you get over to Spreaker.com, hashtag JD and Stacey. You better get over there fast. People are trying to get us taken down. JD and Stacey, JDANDSTACEY. And for those of you who are trying to get us taken down, do yourself a favor. Go scratch jerk-offs. That's staying there forever. It's like your herpes. It ain't never going away. Good morning.
Oh, my God.
By the way, anybody who's got the equivalent of Twitter Valtrex, just email Stacey and I some, please.
Yeah, please.
Oh, my God. I seem to have an outbreak of something between the crabs and, I don't know, Alabama crotch rot.
I've given up trying to assess, trying to understand, nor trying to really even whatever.
Hold on a second. I got to hit the audio Mo bubble here. I have to go.
If a psycho stalker retweets herself 3 times and is retweeted by a catfish and a failed musician, I just don't think it's that big a deal.
No, but I can't wait for us all to show up in court together so we can send the group photo out as a Christmas card. Now, I have to go back through the chat log from the other night. But to one of our most nakedest and absolutely loyalist listeners, Ron. Ron. I have to go back and look, and it's very possible that it could have been me. But the other night, halfway through the program on Thursday evening, you gave us a halftime update. And I can swear, Ron, if it was a typo, whatever it is, it said that the Jets were up over the Bills 12-3, wherein the host, yours truly of this program, proceeded to go, bat. And then Stacey went, Giants, you're a jerk-off. And I went, no, they're beating the Bills. Not only were they not up 12-3. Hold on a second. Not only were they not up 12-3, but they were down 12-3. And then after this great program, I went and had the privilege of watching them give the game away and lose. So, Ron.
Okay, terrific.
And this is all on me. So I should actually be going to jail for this. Oh, was that a Jefferson County slammer?
I don't know. Help me.
Help me, Lordy Lord. Oh, we'll get to that. We'll get to the haps me. That's all the universities all over the campus. All right, now, for those of you kids who've been waiting, you know what? See, I do this to myself all the time. See, the Sunday board is not as big. Well, that Sunday board not as big as that Tuesday board, baby. So I'm back and I'm forth, but right now we're going to be bringing you that weekend update brought to you by Mr. Eric Williams at BarDyersHatTire.com, baby. It is for that weekend in November 15, 2015. Former Speaker Boehner is now in the market for a new car after having been chauffeured around for 9 years. No word yet on what fancy car John will get, but hopefully it will turn out to be a lemon, just like he was. Got it! Better get better from here.
President Obama challenged Americans to read the horrible TPP deal themselves to decide if they like it or not. Since the agreement is about 3 feet high when printed out, most employed Americans are choosing not to take the rest of the year off to read it.
So the TPP is about as tall as Rubio. John Kasich said during the debate that illegal immigrants already living in the U.S. should be allowed to stay because deporting them is unrealistic. Trump then said he would be more than happy to let them stay as long as he could deport all 11 million to Ohio. I'd sign up for that.
If things don't get better on the University of Missouri campus soon, free speech-hating professor Melissa Click may have to resign her teaching position and return to her former profession, full-time being a Carrot Top impersonator in Vegas.
You know why she had such a long skirt on in that video?
I have no idea.
Because she's got a bigger joint than Magic Johnson. College students harassed their incredible brain power to pull together a nationwide walkout this week. Free tuition, cancellation of student debt, and wanting every college to offer a social justice warrior degree plan, which is some of the demands of the Million Idiot March. Put commas in these goddamn things.
Missouri Tiger football games should be more interesting going forward. The marching band has been benched, and halftimes at home games will now consist of Black Lives Matter protesters walking around the field, angrily cursing and shouting at fans in the stadium.
Okay, terrific.
Guinness World Record states the world's biggest baby was born in 1879 and weighed over 23 pounds. That long-standing record was shattered this week when the title of the world's biggest baby was awarded collectively to America's liberal college students. And that's your weekend update for that weekend of November 15, 2015, baby. Well, maybe not. Eric Williams, barbedwiresatire.com. If you haven't gotten him anything for Christmas, get him some Hooked on Phonics. I need commas, spaces. You hear me here? There's a writer's room. I tell you, there's a bunch of monkeys and typewriters and things going around. Get it right. Get it.
Oh, dear.
You know, I try to picture what goes on in Eric's head when he's writing it, and basically all I've come up with so far is I swear to God, that's the song I hear playing in his head when he writes.
Yeah, well, now his turnabout is fair play, and he can tweet the song he thinks about possibly hearing in your head when you come up with some of your shtick.
But, please, this is the only thing that goes on in my head.
I hate this place. Nothing works here. The medications don't work. I've been here for 7 years.
Although I do, you know what? I am digging his illegal alien stuff lately.
Yeah, no.
Although I will say one thing, and I bet the letters are going to come pouring in, and I don't care what you say. I've come a little closer off of my hawkish immigration stance because I met a very nice person who is definitely not a citizen who was working in the grocery store yesterday and helped me out with cilantro. So now I have like this first world white guy problem that I kind of privilege thing I got to work over. I'm like, yeah, borders, language, culture, and having a country, but I mean, like my man, like he got me the fresh cilantro, so I don't know.
Wow.
No?
Proving it's all about you.
Oh, hell yeah. Who else is it supposed to be about? You? Cock scratch.
This weekend, it was all about me, thank you.
Oh, why is that?
Well, I'm a year older than the last time we were on the air.
You're 67 now?
That would have been 2 years older than your last try. No.
Okay, terrific.
Happy birthday, darling. That's why we've been letting you enjoy your weekend and your days. Have a big princess weekend stretched out.
Of course.
Have you gotten yelly at all this weekend?
Have I gotten what?
Yelly.
No, I haven't gotten yelly at all this weekend.
No? I just wanted an excuse to play.
Actually, I did see John Kasich's response to the shootings or the violence in Paris, and it wasn't yelly at all. So,
no, we're gonna get into. As a matter, you know what? Let's. You want to do Paris in one, and then we'll do the North Korean hostage video in two. What do you feel like talking more about? You want to know what? It's light. It's a Sunday morning. Let's take the last 7 of the segment and do the hostage video. Hold on 1 second. So. This is Friday evening, right? Yesterday was Saturday. So Friday about 4 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, about 10 p.m. Paris time, you all know exactly what happened. And this is a media show, and we do media coverage. And basically a bunch of mud hut third world savages murdered a bunch of people who were doing nothing but enjoying a Friday night. And whether it's the president of the United States, I want to get into a bunch about this because there's no reason to go into the details. You know what these animals did. You knew they were going to do this. You knew they were capable of doing this. To bust the narrative on the left, one of these creeps floated over in a raft from Greece with the refugees. Everybody remember the refugees? How can you say
at least one?
How can you say anything about the refugees, you racist? They are just fleeing these countries for a better life, for a better life, for a better life, for a better life, for a better life. I want everybody right now who thinks that to take their head out of their ass and answer me this question. I want you to answer me this question. If these people are smart enough in low-tech ways to shut down a major Western power such as France with between 7 and 8 guys, 7 and 8 guys, not 700, not 800, 7 or 8 guys with Kalashnikovs, these people are not that stupid.
Not at all. And obviously the commentary has been immense following this tragedy in France. There's just no other word for it. But had the privilege to be introduced to someone I hadn't seen before last night, talking to Brett Baer on Fox post-debate, and his name is Dr. Sebastian Gorka. And he is an irregular warfare strategist at the U.S. Marine War College. And, his comments to me were specifically, it's what we all, I think, are thinking, but it's not any way that I've ever heard it put. He actually says the narrative on the left is ideologically inconsistent with intelligence. He says we have no reason in the world not to place the people who are pulling off acts like this in Paris, taking down Russian airliners, etc., squarely in the box of Islamic terrorism because they say so. Who are we to say different? And if you don't understand the ideology of your enemy and you don't understand what's driving them, you cannot defeat them. And he also calls out that, basically because we've denied the ideology, and Beaker O'Donovan thought this was one of the best quotes ever, we're playing a game of global whack-a-mole. And as a result, the Obama administration is making far greater use of drones to take out key players than the Bush administration ever did.
No, I think that's where everybody goes wrong. The Obama administration is not playing whack-a-mole. They spent $500 million to train 5 people. Their airstrike sorties are at a rate that embarrass the military who's actually executing them. You have to want to win. You have to be in a position where you believe that victory is defined and it's something that you want to follow through with. You do not have that in this administration. I think one of the saddest commentaries on what happened in Paris is I was sitting with friends on Friday night. And some people were political, some people weren't. I'm a New Yorker, some people were conservative, a lot of people were liberal. But do you know what I found amazing? Because it wasn't like it was a conversation in the context of we used to be and we're not. I just remember a point in the conversation where I looked around the room and I realized that everybody had tacitly settled on and just assumed going forward that the strongest Western power to make a statement or to have a response to this would be Germany and Angela Merkel, not Barack Obama and the United States of America. And the other thing that I'm absolutely sick about, and again, this is a media show, I kept hearing, we don't know who claimed responsibility. We don't know who claimed responsibility. Yeah, let me tell you something.
Yeah, okay.
It was 11 Catholic nuns and 5 former IRA guys who did this. Wait a second. No, wait a second. I know who did this. You know who did this. The media knows who did this. We're talking about Ben Carson and what his feelings were when he was a 13-year-old boy in the press. But you're going to turn a blind eye to this refugee nonsense, one of them who was complicit and basically the comparative example of France's 9/11. And last night on that debate stage, when we get into it in segment 2, every one of those Democratic candidates advocated for bringing more of these people over here.
Ugh.
Take us out. We got a minute.
Well, I mean, when you take a look at the commentary around this, number one, it's frustrating. Number two, it takes in no way any consideration for the fact that Europe has brought this on themselves because they truly believe in what I call the lie of multiculturalism. France is no longer France. Very shortly, Germany will no longer be Germany. What it means to be German is fundamentally changing. And, you know, open arms and progressive sympathy, thinking that we have this global society, is what allows people to get in a boat and come over in Europe and, you know, do things like they did in Paris. I mean, it's absolutely disgusting that we can't call it out for what it is. Immigration without assimilation is invasion, and that goes to Bobby Jindal.
I love you. You know what? You did that just for me. You opened up just so we could talk about the little man in the boat, didn't you, baby?
Yeah.
Giggity, let's have sex.
All right, enough of these mud-hutted third-world savages. They're going to be with us forever, so we're going to have to deal with them. Coming back on the other side of the break, kids, we're going to have a K98 Talk contest right now. We're going to give a T-shirt away to anybody who can figure out, get us in the chat room by the end of the show, which horrible, awful, just forget about it, never turn it on again radio show we finally dropped from our break promo, and hopefully we'll just be in the wind somewhere on the interweb. Anybody know what I'm saying? JD and Stacey, Bloody Marys and Broadsheets coming back, kids.
One break coming up.
This is Slickery Trigger for Rebel Road Tactical. With proper care and feeding, your pistol will be ready when you need it. There to save your life. Shouldn't your gear be that good? Whether you need a holster for comfortable everyday carry or a tough-as-nails holster for your next training course, Rebel Road Tactical has what you need. Check us out on the web at rebelroadtactical.com.
The staff of K98 Talk and the Spark Radio Network is proud to announce that our very own Rowdy Rick Robinson has been selected as one of the top conservative talk show hosts in the nation for his program, America Off the Rails. Again, congratulations to Rowdy Rick Robinson for a job well done and another reason to stay connected to K98 Talk and the Spark Radio Network.
If you like your health care plan, you'll be able to keep your health care plan. This is the most transparent administration in history. Not even a smidgen of corruption.
Fact is, we had 4 dead Americans. What difference at this point does it make?
If you got a business, you didn't build that.
The feeling most people get when they hear Barack Obama's speech, I felt this thrill going up my leg. I don't have that too often.
Steady.
It's time to hear the truth about America's biggest challenges. Ricky Robinson, host of America Off the Rails, will tackle the important issues facing America today as he tries to keep America from coming off the track. Get ready to hear the truth every Monday through Friday starting at 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 Central, here on K98Talk.com and the Spark Radio Network.
Welcome to the face of the new democracy.
From the Vikings of Norway to my home down south to Washington, D.C., I've been around. I've seen it all, and I've come out on top. You better beware, for all you know, the bell tolls for you. Enter the bell tower or watch your step. 8 p.m. Thursdays, K98 Talk.
K98Talk.com, a leader in Internet radio. So grab your seatbelts and take the ride of your life on K98Talk.com.
welcome back. JD and Stacey with you on a good, easy Sunday morning, November 15th, 2015. Coming to the bottom of the 11 o'clock hour here on a nice, cold football Northeast Sunday morning. Everybody who's not in there right now, get over to K98Talk.org. Get in that chat room. Tell Ron to keep his clothes off. Tell Slick to get those boxes off. And the rest of the ladies, God knows what they're doing. But they're the smartest, drunkest, stoned as some kind of drug-taking listening audience in the radio business. We want to thank them very, very much. Remember, guys, we're not just here Sunday live. We do it again, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Tuesday nights for Game On. Game On again live, Thursday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard. We do Friday, 5 p.m. WNJC, Southern Jersey, Philadelphia, for that 4.2 million listeners. And starting tomorrow, Monday, November 16th, we are going to be this week, I think, on Friday, close to leading into Yahoo Sports. Going to be up in that 1360 WNJC, coming after that ESPN, baby. We're going to be up there with the people listening. Moisey. And as we sit here this morning, remember, guys, not now, after the show. You get over to Spreaker.com, hashtag JD and Stacey. Find out everything we've been doing here with Ricky Tikki Tavi, Rick Robinson over that K98 Talk. And I think it's just, I think it's a moment before we get into the North Korean hostage video that went on last night. I think it was in Iowa, or at least it was sponsored by.
Yeah, no, it was in Iowa.
Some of the press in Iowa. And I absolutely love our audience. I love the guesses that you're taking in the chat room. But, you know, one of the things that Stacey and I are here to guide you guys through. I mean, we are so blessed. We are so lucky. We are so humbled that you take the time with all the entertainment that's available out there to tune into us, to listen to us, to tell us what you're passionate about, to interact with us, to allow us to have the opportunity to come into your home on radio. We're going to be shooting you straight as the election cycle comes along about a lot of these organizations out there, whether they're PACs or whether they're this or whether they're that. I mean, one of the things that Stacey and I have had the opportunity over the last year is to basically get a pretty good peek behind the curtain inside the conservative movement. And one of the things that I will not do here is I will not lie to my audience. And I will make sure that we're going to give you the best lowdown on basically principled people who are running these PACs and organizations, you know, rather than some, you know, celebrity-hungry flavor of the week. And we're going to have much more on that coming up. All right, dear, did you watch that, whatever that was last night?
I did, because I take my responsibilities to take one for the team so our listeners don't have to. So, yes, I spent Saturday
watching
the Dem debate.
The K98 Talk News Group is so, I mean, this is how good they are. They actually hired ghost hunters last night, and they had a seance. And they sent the K98 Talk News crew back in time to meet with both Lincoln and Douglas. And back from the great nether region of the beyond, baby, both Lincoln and Douglas. That's right, the man who the famous debate style is named after. This is what they communicated about the state of affairs of great American political debate through the space-time continuum, baby. Last night was the death of intellectualism, the death of debate, and honestly, the death of feeling in my bag after I just started shooting a nail gun into it to keep myself awake. Oh, my God, was that awful.
Well, you know, there was a high point for some folks. I mean, Bernie Sanders went Ron Paul and said, pot for everyone.
Boom, boom, boom.
Uncle
he is
Speedo.
taking marijuana out of the federal drug laws and leaving it up to the states.
Oh, I have got to tell you something. Let's do that again. I want everybody in the audience, okay? Every time Bernie Sanders speaks, I just want you to get this beginning in your head.
Boom, boom, boom.
Okay, so Uncle Speedo, you know, they really should, instead of doing it as a debate, they should sell it as a reality show. It's like Uncle Speedo's Geritol Hour. Between him and Grandma and Martin O'Malley, I am, Stacey, I was looking a little bit this morning. I mean, not that hard, because you know I ain't a morning person, baby. Did you see any numbers from last night's debate?
I actually did not, because I actually think, you know, they're not looking for numbers, JD. Strictly where they are placing these debates make it very, very clear that viewership is not their goal.
No.
I mean, you're putting them opposite, you're putting them on a Saturday night. You're putting them on a Friday night. You're putting them opposite football on Sundays. I mean, the goal here is to shed as little light on these candidates and just proceed with a Clinton coronation at the convention. That's really what it's about.
But, and for those of you who didn't watch it, what was the name of the main moderator last night, the guy who was standing with the striped McDonald's tie?
Dickinson?
I
believe.
No, that was John.
He's from CBS.
Okay. I thought the moderator asked great questions.
No, he did a good job.
There was a point, and I
fully expect him to be in a car wreck.
We'll try to get it Tuesday night for the Tuesday night show. But I'm trying to think of what the question was. It was either on email. Basically, it was honestly a serious, substantive question that dug into Hillary Clinton. And when he was reading it, you could hear his voice cracking. And
because he knows he's going to have a suspicious accident sometime here in the near future.
Well, but here I sat back and I said to myself, I said, this is so interesting. I said, here is one singular moment when you see the press actually do what they're supposed to do without thinking about it. All of these reporters right now, especially the ones that are old enough to be moderating these debates, they came up just after Watergate, where they wanted to speak truth to power. The quivering and shaking in his voice addressing the Empress of Chappaqua. I mean, honestly, because it's just like he was waiting for her to be like, I mean, she stood up there all in black. Oh, it was. Well, but I mean, good on him for asking. But even between O'Malley and Uncle Speedo and the moderator, nobody really wanted to really press her.
Well, there's nothing to press. I mean, if you listen to the entire debate, number one of the most observant things I heard last night was from Charles Krauthammer post-debate, which was basically when they opened the debate and they were talking about what happened in Paris and what these folks, these candidates would do to mitigate the threat from ISIS or other radical Islamists. Number one, the biggest debate was whether or not we were going to call them radical Islamists. So Hillary has actually opted for jihadists, and since jihad is an Islamic concept, maybe that's close enough.
No.
But the other thing that was
wait. Just before you stop, just let's interact. She didn't settle on that. Her and the other two candidates used about 5 or 6 different terms just so they didn't have to deal with radical Islam, of which they were asked about specifically.
No, several times. But the other thing of note is I originally thought during that portion of the debate that there was no audience, because the audience reaction, there was none.
No,
there was no applause. There was no signal. Yes, we agree with this. We agree with that. What my main takeaway from the debate last night, Democrats don't care about foreign policy or what we're going to do to mitigate this threat at all, or they agree with the strategy of containment, which clearly has not worked.
No, you know what? I came away with a little bit of take on it, because if you listen, I had the same. If you watch the Republican debate and then you watch the Democratic debate, the reactions during the Republican debate, because there are ideas that are being put forth by these candidates. Why do each one of these candidates have to have a different substantive tax plan? Do you want to know why? Because the Republican primary base is hungry for change. It's hungry for policy that will shrink this government. You have to understand the left. You watch these debates, as much as Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama are nothing but a cult of personality, when you watch these debates, there are no cheers, there are no applause lines for the candidates, for the individuals. Where they come in, I mean, it basically sounds like the entire audience is taking an Ambien. And when they pop up and they do give a tacit golf clap, it is when one of the candidates has made sure, in as vague language as possible, they have hit on and checked off a progressive talking point box. So you'll sit here, and you can have a 10-minute exchange on immigration. And they will sound like there's nobody in the audience. And so long as somebody says, and we will make sure that we'll give out driver's license and that everybody is an American just without papers. Oh, great. Because that's what the left wants. And that's why the right is losing at light speed, because the left are more like the Chinese communists. They look at everything in 50 and 100-year terms. Obamacare in 2009 and 2010. That was the end of President Wilson's dream of free health care. So these people think about things in 100-year terms, and we don't. So to my mind, your average progressive Democratic primary voter does not care who is running and who is elected and what they've done, so long as they can keep their head in the sand and go, oh, the people that I think are smarmy elitist douches still agree with me.
No, but I mean, you did hear applause and cheering for various things that were said. Certainly, the one that makes me want to bang my head into my keyboard until I just can't see anymore is free college. Number one, we have far too many students in college as it is. We have completely lowered the bar for what it means to get a bachelor's degree, which is why Bernie Sanders can say it's the equivalent of a high school diploma in the 1950s. He's going after the Brazil model, which is great, except Brazil is far more picky about who gets to study at the university level. You have to work awfully gosh darn hard in your younger years to make that cut. And, nothing about vocational ed. Let's pay for college education so everybody can go get some transnational racism and, trans whatever of the pygmies in South America. I mean, these degrees that people are getting and complaining about not being able to pay off, they shouldn't be able to pay off. There are no jobs for people with that knowledge unless you're going to be a college professor and start another class that is completely no value to society in general.
Let's focus back on the debate and how the candidates basically address that.
They're all going to give it away.
Yeah, but
the only difference was with O'Malley and Howe.
Mm-hmm.
And what Bernie said, it's going to be paid for by speculation taxes on Wall Street. I thought that was great. There was no mention of vocational or technical education as an option, as is in several conservative and Republican plans, because, the minimum wage problem would kind of go away if people knew how to do something technical or in the skilled trades. And, O'Malley talked about block grants and some other things that he had done in Maryland to reduce college costs, but they're not saying, I think Hillary and O'Malley basically said debt-free, not free. So I'm not really sure what the difference is there, but.
O'Malley is so desperate for relevancy, so desperate to think that he can make a difference after Hillary Clinton. We actually have. This is basically what he sounded like last night.
Sing us the song of the Emerald Isle. Oh, 'tis like the singing of the angels themselves.
He made a pointed effort to turn in and make sure he was looking at Hillary. He made sure he took out his knives to attack her, but it was just way so late. It seemed to be, last night's debate to me was such a kabuki dance of theater, because then they challenged Bernie Sanders on, Uncle Speedo, in the last debate, you said that grandma's emails don't matter, but then you said that they do matter, and then, he was like, well, Black Lives Matter. And he was, well, they didn't matter and they do matter, and, she sat up there with that scowl on her face, shaking her head, she knows this, she knows that, but the fear. The fear in the Democratic Party over the Clinton machine is just so palpable. It's so palpable. And if last night told you anything, if last night's debate told you anything, you have the Justice Department, which is probing deeper and deeper into Hill. And we don't have any audio, guys, because you're not missing anything. There was no news made last night. It was a checklist of basically everything you see on a daily basis coming out of the progressive left and this administration. And she wants to do it on steroids. But you have this facade that it's almost like because there's supposed to be debates, the left is going to do this show. And I think what you walk away from last night is they were so scared of Hillary Clinton that you can tell for damn sure neither one of those campaigns have gotten the blessing of the Obama administration. So the Obama administration hasn't gotten in with the O'Malley campaign and said, yo, bro, we got your back because Hillary's not all legacy girl. And they haven't done that with Uncle Speedo because of how scared they are. And they definitely don't like Hillary. So who does this administration endorse, and do they have somebody waiting in the wings? Less than a minute.
I don't think they have anybody waiting in the wings, but when you're asked what proof you have that you can handle a crisis, and Hillary Clinton talks about being in the room when we decided we were going to go after Osama bin Laden, and Bernie Sanders cites the VA crisis.
Climate
too
change,
bad
too.
some of our dead vets can't weigh in on that. Doesn't inspire a lot of confidence, and the fact that none of them, absolutely none of them, objected to taking in the 65,000 refugees. Of course, we're going to vet them. How you do that any better than France or Germany's doing it, I have no idea. Terrifies me to death.
All right, folks, that's about enough. Like I said, you really didn't. You didn't listen. This was JD and Stacey and I after watching that debate.
I hate this place. Nothing works here. The medications don't work. I've been here for 7 years.
And if you think this administration has screwed up and destroyed this Constitution and just stepped and burned all over this Republic and the Constitution, go to, I think it's Goodwin's article today or yesterday in the New York Post. It's time for Obama to make a choice, lead us or resign. Truer words were never said. Coming into the noon hour, closing out the show, we got a little feeling woozy cyber sickness. We got the rise of the college cyberbillies and Missouri and Black Lives Matter and wah. JD and Stacey, K98 Talk, coming back.
Hey everybody, this is Jason, host of According to Me. I'd like to invite you to check out my show. It's a 2-hour show that lasts 60 minutes in...
Listen, I hate to interrupt, but one thing I can do is read off a script. Just say, let me be clear a lot. It works.
President Obama, I can handle this. It's a radio promo. I'm not green. I've done this before.
Did someone say green?
Now, Al Gore is here. Listen, I'm just trying to record a radio promo. Do you mind?
Now, do you say good things about me on the show?
No, not at all. But if it makes you feel any better, I rip on Republicans just as much.
The AM radio frequencies give off very high levels of radiation.
Look, my show is on the internet, which you invented. Can I just do my promo?
I got a pen. I can veto that, you know.
I know you got a pen. It's not a law. It's a radio promo. Listen, just listen to my show. Barack Obama and Al Gore hate it, so you're going to love it.
Here's an executive order. Don't listen to his show. He doesn't like me. He's racist. And he doesn't recycle either.
That's it. I'm done. It's According to Me, Wednesdays, 10 p.m. Eastern, right here on K98 Talk.
We will never fully understand what we've asked of our military service members or their families, asking them to put themselves in harm's way, to endure it all. But we do understand that it's our turn, our duty, to keep them secure for the rest of their lives. Wounded Warrior Project long-term support programs help our most severely ill or injured veterans live independently, at no cost, for life, so that they might stand at ease. Join us at findwwp.org.
K98 Talk is expanding its lineup for 2015. This means we are expanding our advertising base. Whether you're a startup trying to push through to the next level or an established business trying to supplement your advertising budget, web-based advertising is a solid investment. Thanks to Talk's newest partnership with TuneIn Radio and instant access to our sister station, K98 FM, we give you worldwide access at a reasonable cost. Interested parties should email us at sales@k98fm.com.
JD and Stacey here on K98 Talk, telling you to top off your drink, top off your stink, top off whatever helps make you think, and get over that K98Talk.org right now. Get in that chat room. Say hello to Stacey. Very engaged, bright-eyed, bushy. I don't know how the hell you people do it. I hate being up on a Sunday morning. But remember, folks, we don't just do that Bloody Marys and Broadsheets. You'll kill for your mainstream media hangover. Sundays at 11 a.m. We're live again Tuesday, 9 p.m. here at K98 Talk for Game On. Thursday night live again, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard for another edition of that Game On, baby. Friday, 5 p.m. drive time, WNJC, South Jersey, Philadelphia. Yahoo Sports coming up there in that 1360 starting tomorrow. And, of course, not now. After the show, you get over to Spreaker.com, hashtag JD and Stacey, JDANDSTACEY. Find a catalog of everything we got going here with that K98 Talk with that Ricky Ticky Tavi Rick Robinson. And now he's back, yeah?
Yeah.
All right.
So the interwebs can make you sick.
What's going on in the chat room?
What's going on in the chat room? I don't know. They're talking about vetting Syrian refugees and how the FBI says we can't.
Nobody's vetting Syrian refugees. This woman's
I know. Certainly no Democrat, but anyway.
But this is what I don't understand. And, and this goes to some of the libertarian immigration argument as well. I've heard people screaming about we have to vet all of these refugees, but that's the same, some of the same crowd on our side is okay with, we have to let everybody who is here stay. Everybody who's a bad guy, folks, whether it was a visa overstay or whether they came through the southern border or the northern border, didn't just arrive here with this quote-unquote refugee crisis that's been going on. I mean, you go back and take a look when the Blind Sheikh arrived in Brooklyn before the bombing of the World Trade Center in 1992. So I don't want people to think that it's just now and we got to vet these people. I mean, doesn't this go back to the whole immigration argument? I mean, you seal the border, you put a moratorium on immigration, and then you do a consensus. You do a census style a reckoning and say, okay, who's here? Who's here? And you want to know what? We start off with our absolutely one of our favorite, most simple questions here on Game On, asked so astutely by a former governor of California.
Who is your daddy? And what does he do?
And until we do that, folks, we don't know how many of what happened in Paris is roaming around our streets.
And one thing that has been demonstrated over and over and over and over again is the young men who are most willing to engage in these attacks where they die. I mean, the guys in Paris died. This is what we have. This is martyrdom. Our middle class, relatively bright young men who are radicalized, and even Dr. Gorka last night, for whatever reason, ideologically, both in Europe and in the Middle East, jihad is sexy. This is something people want to be and something people want to do. Until you figure out how to defeat that ideology, you don't win.
No, and like I said, you can tell the progressive left is not serious about it, and I think unfortunately, we're gonna reap some of this whirlwind. But for those of you who are online, whether you're listening to the radio or whether you're watching Twitter, all right, JD is not what's making you sick. I'm what's making the low T Ramblers and Stacey sick. But for the rest of you, this is not what's making you sick. So cyber sickness is now a thing, kids. Digital motion sickness or cyber sickness, increasingly common according to a medical and media experts. It causes a person to feel woozy as if on a boat. The little man in the boat pops his head up again.
Giggity, 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 let's have sex.
From viewing digital content. It's a fundamental problem that's been kind of swept under the carpet in the tech industry. Isn't that great? Because they sell so much of this. Did you go through this story?
Well, yeah, I did. And actually what's interesting is the more lifelike the program is. So I guess the military has been aware of this for quite a while with their flight simulators. And as those have gotten more lifelike and realistic, they've had more problems with pilots actually getting ill as a result. And I mean, it's basically the same reason if you're in the middle of the cruise ship and the waves are going all over the place and you can't see them, you have no visual input to make your body understand why you're being thrown around like a rag doll. It's like the opposite of that. You get sick on you have the potential to get sick on the boat. You also have the potential to get sick sitting in front of your computer.
Listen, people are sick. This goes back to the little Japanese guy getting all whacked out on rice wine trying to bang that robot. When you get into this, and just like you said, and the physiology of it, kids, stems from a basic mismatch between sensory inputs. In traditional motion sickness, the mismatch occurs because you feel movement in your muscles and joints as well as in the intricate coils of your inner ear. But you do not see it. I don't, if my computer blows up, I'm getting a weird message. But you do not see it. That is why getting you up on the deck of a ship and looking at the horizon helps you feel better. Mm-hmm. But with digital motion sickness, it's the opposite. You see movement like the twists and turns shown in a movie. Did you know that there's a website called moviehurl.com?
Yeah, I can't go see IMAX movies. They make me feel like I'm going to hurl.
That's exactly what
Okay, terrific.
Indeed, there is a website called MovieHurl.com that rates movies on how likely they are to make you feel sick, and mobile device and gamer forums are full of postings. So now, this goes back to they start talking about the military and they're having a problem with pilots because kids, the more realistic it is, the worse your cyber sickness.
Exactly.
You know how close we are getting to?
No, we're not.
Oh, you don't think? Look at some of the people in our chat room.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
What are you talking? What am I talking?
We're talking about cyber sickness.
That's right. And they were talking about the virtual reality glasses, which comes full circle back to the little Japanese guy banging the robot. That's where that's
the robot was actually there.
I understand that. But you're going to get the motion sickness because look, you put the VR glasses on, right? And then it says in here how the tech industry, it's a fundamental problem that's kind of been swept under the carpet in the tech industry. Why? Because they're selling $15,000 machines to shut-in computer geeks who are getting themselves some virtual hoo-ha, and then they're going to freak out because they can take the glasses off and it's going to look like a giant hoo-ha is going to eat them like a Pink Floyd video.
I have no idea. All I know is that they said nobody got sick looking at
Okay,
Pac-Man.
terrific.
So maybe we have to go back to 2D video games and Pac-Man and Miss Pac-Man and Frogger and things like that because those didn't make you sick.
Oh, you know what? I did. You know what? I actually forgot I actually forgot that it did say that Pac-Man didn't make anybody sick. I thought that was hysterical.
Exactly. I mean, if you stop and think about, intellectually and sort of ethically, I have some problems with how they're proceeding down this technological route, and we're having robots that can think and do other things. If we have to stop because it makes people physically ill, I don't know that that's a bad thing.
Stace, I got something for you and people in the chat room right now.
Hey, I was a centipede champion.
All right,
I could get in the top 5 on any one of the video games in the arcades.
Yes,
I went to arcades.
Look in the chat room if anybody calls this. What is this? What was this the effect for in an old 70s or 80s?
When Pac-Man died.
Oh, you don't run a radio contest with the audience when one of the hosts gives away the answer.
We don't really have a T-shirt to give them.
Why are you? You really are so much fun. You are so much. You want to know what? Okay, you do the next segment, Miss Fun. Okay. Holy Christ! Don't do this.
God.
Do that. Play this. Don't play that. Play this many. No. Okay, now it's all you. Go ahead.
Oh, are we going into these Black Lives Matter folks getting all upset?
I don't know. You have the segment. You tell me.
Oh, well, I can't read the Wall Street Journal article, so I'm going to need a little help. But activists, the big old crybabies out at Mizzou, who started an entire protest about some things that seems happened off campus and then some supposed swastika that 3 million kids with a cell phone and nobody got a picture of, are now feeling terribly, 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 terribly displaced by what happened in Paris because people aren't paying them enough attention now.
Listen, what's going on college campuses with these college kids, I mean, this could literally, you want to know what? I was looking at some of this, and for the first time, I'm starting to understand why ISIS hates us, okay? This is what yours and mine favorite social justice group. And if anybody that gets offended by that, do me a favor. Go kill yourself, okay? And I said it again. Go kill you. Do us all a favor and cull the herd. Go put on a blind...
Zuckerberg's taking the cartoons off of Facebook because they're offensive, showing the kids in the diapers and crying.
I mean, put on a blindfold, put some cotton in your ear, and please walk into a major intersection during the green light. Why do I say this? Because this group is so detestable. Here's some tweets from the Black Lives Matter morons about the Paris thing. Melanin Monroe. Racist white people kill me. You want everyone to have sympathy for your tragedy, but you have none for ours. Get the F out of here, Mizzou.
Okay, terrific.
First class all the way.
I like this one. Interesting how the news reports are covering the Paris terrorist attacks, but said nothing about the terrorist attack at Missouri.
You mean the one that
Did I miss something?
You want to know something? I'm going to tell you something. ISIS, if you're listening right now, do me a favor. You can have every college university campus in the country, except Liberty University. And what's the one we always the one from Imprimis? I'm going to get myself screwed here. Here's another one. We can remember the tragedy in Paris and still remember Mizzou.
Why am I remembering Mizzou? It was a temper tantrum. And, I've not always been Nero's biggest fan. Milo Yiannopoulos, I can't ever say his last name correctly. But this quote really just, brought it to settle home for me. These kids have been raised by indulgent parents, instructed by professors racked with middle-class white guilt who secretly hate themselves and Western culture, and promoted by a sympathetic media which bends over backwards to put them in the best light and paper over their tantrums.
Here's the last
I read these tweets, and I just wanted to sit there and just bang my head against a wall.
Here's the last two before
these people vote.
Here's the last two before we get out of here. Mila Havas, disgusted at white conservative Americans using Paris as a see black people, your woes here with us can be more extreme, but not surprised. Let me hear the Lordy Lord, Lordy Lord. And this idiot dog enthusiast, Paris attacks with terrorism, black students getting death threats on their college campus. A supposed safe space is also terrorism. I don't want anybody to be confused where we stand. Black Lives Matter, listen. That's right, you trolling jerk-off. Lionel's black and he loves us. Let's go. I'm in the wrong. God damn it. I swear to God, I'm going to pistol whip the next guy that says shenanigans. Stacey, say something on our way out. Hurry up.
Well, thank you, everybody, for tuning in this Sunday. And you can find me, as always, on the Twitters and Facebook and working on some other very special projects this week.
And evidently, if I had anything less to bring to the table, I would be absolutely obsolete. Not sure how I keep my job here on K98 Talk, but I'm happy to have it. I want to thank Stacey, Ricky Tiki Tavi, Rick Robinson, and the people who build me a new cardboard box to sleep in outside every night in. I will be in bar stools, alleyways, shady situations, and you know it, kids. Right before Thanksgiving, my Thanksgiving donkey show. If I live through it, I'll see you Tuesday.
Hangover.
Thank you for taking it easy with us. You can find our show account on Twitter at JD and Stacey, or send us your interesting news story of the week to Game On War, that's WAAR, @gmail.com.
And you can find me on Twitter at Scott's Fire and on Facebook at Stacey Lennox.
And you can find me on the Twitters at GameOnJD.
When our water heater broke down last month, it was a nightmare. It took 5 hours for the plumber to show up, and he charged us a couple of $100 just to come out. Then it cost another $1,800 to put in the new water heater. By the time it was all said and done, I felt like I'd been taken. But what else could I do?
The smartest thing you can do is get a home warranty from American Residential Warranty. Their home warranties pay to repair or replace all your major appliances when they break, and they will break, and at the worst possible time. Call American Residential Warranty right now for free information on home warranties starting at just pennies a day. Don't wait for your refrigerator to stop running or your ceiling fans to stop turning. Call American Residential Warranty right now. Ask how you can save up to 50% on washer and dryer coverage. Just call 1-800-513-6154. That's 1-800-513-6154. Again, 1-800-513-6154. Call now.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 1-800-516-7602 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 1-800-516-7602 to take your call right now. Call 1-800-516-7602. That's 1-800-516-7602. Again, 1-800-516-7602.
Giggity, 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 let's have sex.